exactly right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome to the studio the great Michael Rapaport.
Good. How are you? Good.
Hi.
What's up, man?
How are you?
Oh, my.
Yeah, right there. Whatever works for you. I mean,
Nuzzle into that little chair.
You're the captain of the ship. What's going on?
Are you on the air?
Yeah, we're on the air. You're just going to walk on. We'll just
This is
adjust.
what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Sorry about that. I stopped at the Starbucks. How you guys doing?
We're good. How are you doing?
Good. I'm better on the radio if I get a little Starbucks, a little juiced up.
Oh, I think we all are. Yeah.
How's everything? Good.
Everything's good. How many times have you been to St. Louis? Is this your maiden voyage, or have you been here multiple times?
Second time I've been here. Last time I came in on a Sunday, performed on a Sunday, left early on a Monday, but this time I have the honor and the pleasure of being here for the whole weekend, performing at the Helium Comedy Club, get a little sense of the city, hang out, trying to eat some good food, trying to do some good shows, and try to get a little vibe of the city. You know, it's hard when you just pop in and out. But I'm
We
excited.
call St. Louis the garden spot of the Great Plains.
The garden spot of the Great Plains. And how did you get that name?
We got nothing else going for us.
Got you.
We beat out Omaha for that, by the way.
Now, you're in New York, born and raised. When you think of St. Louis, I'm curious, do you even think of anything? What do you think of when you think of St. Louis?
When I think of St. Louis,
Yeah.
I'm be honest, I think of O.J. Anderson.
Oh, wow. That became a giant.
That's what I think of when I think of St. Louis. And the ABA team. I know you guys had
The Spirits.
Yes.
Moving Marvin Barnes, doesn't
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you're young, especially, I was born in 1970, so, you would learn, I would learn about cities via sports. So O.J. Anderson is the first thing I think of when I think of St. Louis. You think of the arts, and then you think of Nelly. It was sports and music. Excuse me. Miles Davis. So that's how, when you're younger, you learn, for me, how I learned about St. Louis. I think it's disgusting that, guys don't have a football team.
Yeah.
Good for you. It's a nice take.
Come on, man.
We're getting the Battlehawks in the XFL.
Yeah, well, listen, no disrespect to the Battlehawks, but who gives a crap? No disrespect to them, but it's like, you deserve an NFL team.
Yes, we do.
So no disrespect to the Battlehawks and anybody doing business and with aspirations of getting in the NFL from the Battlehawks, but you guys deserve a football team.
We'll never get one now. We just won a lawsuit from the NFL for $750 million, and nobody knows where the money went. No one will account for where the money went.
It's never happening. But you guys tell me, like, it's a short trip. The evenings are booked because I'm doing my shows. I'm doing 2 shows tonight, 2 shows tomorrow. But if you said, Mike Rapp, while you're here, I would spend your afternoon today and tomorrow doing blank.
Oh,
Come on, give it to me, man.
I'll give you one tomorrow.
All right, here we go. Iggy's got it for you.
Give it to me, Iggy.
Tomorrow I'm having my 13th annual bowling event for the Megan Meyer Foundation.
Okay, Iggy,
Come and hang out with us tomorrow.
I'm excited about the bowling event. I'm excited, and I support charity. But there is not a way in hell, Iggy, and I say this with all due respect also, that I'm going to a bowling event, whether it's for charity, whether it's to put kids on the moon, while I'm in St. Louis. I'm trying to explore the city, and I'm sure there's going to be some great St. Louisans. Do you call them
St. Louisans is exactly right.
St. Louisans.
Did I just make that up?
Yeah. St. Louisans.
I've just St. Louisans.
We go for the whole word, St. Louisans.
But Iggy, I appreciate that. But like, can you give me something that, like, it would be a little bit more St. Louis specific-y?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, there's no sports going on. Are the Blues in town tomorrow night?
Yeah,
Yes.
But you got your
shows. You'll be doing your show
tomorrow
and they're
night.
playing, Mike.
2 shows Friday, which is tonight, and 2 shows Saturday.
Nice.
But like, come on, give me
If
something.
it was summer or spring, I'd say yes. It's too cold outside. There's
ain't
nothing
that
going
cold.
on here.
Tomorrow,
The Ferris wheel's not open, I don't think.
St. Louis basketball
Go
plays
up in the
Maryland.
arch.
Oh, yes.
There you go.
Yeah,
St. Louis University
game.
basketball taking on Maryland.
Oh, that might not be
go.
bad.
There you go.
Where's
Nice,
that at?
Jackson.
I think it's at Chaffetz.
Yeah, it's probably not far from where you're staying,
in
if
the
I had to
city,
guess.
yeah.
At noon.
I'm
Now-
upset you poo-pooed all over my event.
No, I didn't poo-poo over the event, Iggy. I'm excited about the
kinda
event.
trashed it.
No, I didn't trash it.
Thanks.
But you're looking for a way to get out of it, and that's just say,
I
I'm
like
going
the
with Mike.
onions on Iggy that you invited me. I appreciate that.
Nice onions, Iggy.
I don't like bowling in general, but again, I do support charity. What is the event about? Tell us about the event. I mean, we're promoting my shows, but I want to promote the event also.
No, everybody listening to the show knows about the event.
Oh, wow.
I was just going to
It's so big you don't need the
you.
promotion.
Where is the event, Iggy?
Cave Springs Lanes out in St.
It's
Peter's.
30 miles west of here.
Oh, Jesus. I got to travel.
There's not a chance you're going.
If you had said 15 minutes, I might now because I crapped on the event.
I'll
might
have a
just
car
show
come
up.
get you.
Just go to the hill, get yourself some pasta, some drinks. That's close to your area. It's
Where?
nice,
Go to
old school
where?
Italian. It's.
What joint? What's the joint called?
I mean, there's several points.
You got to be specific. That's what I'm saying.
Gotta be
You
specific,
got to make a
Mohawk.
choice. You got to say, Mike Rapp, this is what you need to do. Because otherwise, you know what I'm doing?
What are you doing?
I'm postmating. I'm Ubering,
Oh,
eating.
no. We really do have legitimately quality.
I know. That's why I'm asking you
Food.
guys. You guys are the voices of St. Louis, but you can't help me
Go
get
down to the Grove and just bop around all day. Have a
Bop around.
Have a cocktail. Have lunch. Go to some of the shops.
So let me ask you here. I'll help you. Are you like a deli sandwich? Do you like Italian? Because we kind of got some good things going
Blue
there.
City Deli is absolutely fire.
There's a
Blue City
legendary
Deli.
BLT on the north side.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Crown Candy is your answer.
Crown Candy for a legendary BLT?
Yes.
Now, is it one of these joints where
It's
they're like
been around for like 100+ years, right? Hasn't it?
Crown Candy? Now,
Crown
but is it one of
Candy.
these places where you got to wait 45
No,
minutes
no,
outside?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Because now there's like foodie people and they'll wait. I'm like, I don't care if God himself is making the pizza. Because in New York, they have these places now where like people are like, you got to go here, you got to go there. And I'm like, all right, cool, but like, be ready for a 90-minute wait. I'm like,
Well, it can be.
Enough that.
And you
Oh,
got
I
to
don't, not,
you gotta have your head on a swivel there. If you
Why?
go.
That's the north side of St. Louis.
okay.
you go.
But it's called Crown.
Crown
Crown
Candy.
Candy
I think
Kitchen,
that's the
man.
play. If
Crown
that's what
Candy-
you want, you will be thrilled with that selection.
Now, you said something about pasta.
Yes, we
Yeah,
have the
the
Hill
Hill.
in St. Louis. It's a famous Italian area where a lot of immigrants moved when they moved to St. Louis.
Because in the movie Casino, didn't they have the St. Louis mob featured in the movie?
I think that was the Kansas City
Kansas
mob.
City,
It was
Kansas
the
close.
We
City
don't
mob.
Listen,
do mob
4 hours
places
away.
here. No.
Okay, I thought there might have been a mob thing here, like in the 60s and 70s.
No, there was.
There was a mob thing.
Iggy's going to out some of them right here.
No, I got in trouble for saying one of the names one time. So
Yeah,
We
I
had a
mean,
couple
it's
car
probably
bombings. We had some car bombings.
we did.
Yeah, a couple of car bombings.
Yeah, we
have
sure
some-
did.
we
Hey,
have
listen, you're not a real city unless you've had some car bombing.
Yeah, that is true. We got the grit. But no, Charlie Gito's, Dominic's, all those places out on the
There's
hill.
some great
Give me
Italian.
one. Give me one.
Charlie
What's
Gito's.
Charlie
Gito?
Gito's. That sounds like he's definitely affiliated with some sort of Charlie Gito's. I like that name.
or Ragazzi's. Ragazzi's is good.
Ragazzi sounds like they're the
That's another
Ragazzi
good one.
brothers. That sounds
That's
like
that's
you don't want to mess with the
And I'll
Ragazzi
give
brothers.
you stop by Bertarelli's Cutlery, get yourself some knives to take back to New York.
Yeah, you get those on the plane with no problem.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
that's
the
not a
blue
problem.
stops.
Iggy,
Slide right in.
you're trying to get me arrested now, Iggy.
I was taking
Iggy
care
is
of
a
his
huge fan of yours, Mike.
I appreciate it. I
He is a
really
big
appreciate
fan.
it. Thank
What
you.
is
Iggy.
it that you wanted to ask him about?
Well,
Because I know
one of
you're
my
a big
favorite
fan. What was it that you were talking about?
Kiss of Death.
Fun movie.
Yeah. I mean, what a cast.
Great cast.
And you pretty much effed everybody up in that thing, man.
It was
I
a
mean,
great movie, great time. David Caruso, Nick Cage. A lot of people were in that. Ving Rhames was in
Helen
that.
Hunt was in that.
Yeah, Ellen Hunt was in it. I mean, I had a great time. It was a fun part, a fun time. It was just, working, with somebody like Nick Cage and David Caruso was at the top of his NYPD Blue kookiness and craziness. And, Nick Cage, I remember I was talking to him while we were making Kiss of Death. I said, what are you doing next? We're just two actors talking. And I was tripping out because I was like, I'm such a fan of Nick Cage. And he's like, oh, I'm going to do this little movie probably nobody's ever going to see. It's about this alcoholic called Leaving Las Vegas. And I was like, oh, crap. And he won the Oscar for Leaving Las Vegas. But it was fun working on that. I mean, everything that I've had the opportunity to do, it's been like 30 years, is been fun. Acting's always going to be my first love. Doing stand-up comedy, doing live shows. I love doing it. I love the little club, at the Helium Club. We did a show last night. It was great. And, I'm fortunate to be able to still have things to do and things to be excited about and things that people enjoy.
Talk about your stand-up, because, I mean, a lot of people know you because you've been in hundreds of movies and TV shows, and there's always a comedian, too, does stand-up. What's your show? Just give not to give it away, but an idea of what your show's about.
My show is really it's a trash-talking extravaganza. I talk about myself because I feel like if you're going to talk about other people, you have to make fun of yourself, so I make fun of myself first. I talk about my life, talk about, being married, being divorced, having kids, talk some sports, talk some politics, mess around with the crowd. And I like to have a good time, but it's definitely ranty. It's definitely, there's a lot of energy. and I try to give everything I can every time I do it.
And people, kind of, I don't know. Can you talk about the Barstool thing, or you want to stay away from that?
What's to talk about? I mean, there's nothing.
I'm on your side. I
appreciate that.
I have not.
So I don't even know what the situation.
It's honestly, it's something that legally I'm not supposed to talk about, and it's not worth talking about. And also, people, it's too like It's like a business dispute, really.
Yeah.
Ultimately, that's what it is, a business dispute.
Yeah, but I'm on your side because we're friends with Riggs, who's on Barstool. We're
Drop
friends.
the subject. He's telling you he doesn't want to talk about it.
No, I'm talking about
He
people
wants to
we
double
know from
down.
Barstool. Young Page View's a friend of ours from St. Louis. But I'm off the Portnoy. I mean, I thought, great thing, you guys are doing great. Now I've just kind of said, you know what, I'm tired of him. He's always bragging about how much money he's got and everybody else sucks and he's the best. I'm kind of off Portnoy now, and I'm on your side.
All right, I appreciate that, Iggy.
I have a question.
Drop the subject.
Are you going to go to the bowling event now?
I'll be there first.
I have a question in terms of when you do comedy shows.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're well known in terms of what you've done on screen. Now, when I was 18, I saw Brian Posehn and Anthony Jeselnik in Peoria, and I was able to kind of get my way and get high with them after the show.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Interact with the fans outside? I know the Helium's a little different than a typical comedy club that you normally do. Do you interact with the fans
After, am I going to be smoking weed with fans? That's what you're asking me.
I would say yes. But
He's like, I got high with Anthony Jeselnik. If people come to see your show, will they be able to smoke weed
Correct.
with you
Yeah, I guess
before,
that's the
after,
point.
possibly during the show? Is that what you're asking me?
I guess it
Crystal
is,
meth.
yeah.
Just ask the specific
Yes.
question.
Do you like getting high with any of your fans before or after the show?
Gosh,
If you asked me that just straight up,
you're sorry you came in here.
Come
that
on.
would be the best question ever.
See, I messed it up, but I didn't know if you interacted with your fans.
Of course
at all.
I do.
Okay.
Of course I do. I mean, listen. To be honest, I really truly, when I say how lucky and fortunate and how, humble and appreciative I am that I am still doing this, that I'm doing shows, that people come out to give me to see me do shows, to listen to my podcast, to whatever. Like I'm always amazed by it and appreciate it. So, depending on the way the moon, sun, and the stars are aligned, there's a possibility that you come to a show, we could smoke a doob,
Nice. So
or
I need
not.
to hear.
Yeah,
I need to hear.
Now you're in.
But that's yes for sure. Is it guaranteed? No. Will I smoke your stuff if I see you like outside of Helium waiting? Don't show up and be like, Mike, I wanted
I
to.
have this for you.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
No.
That makes me uncomfortable.
No, well, it should.
And the last thing you want me to do is to drink or smoke before I go on stage to do a live show. Anything.
That is true. Yeah.
Even coffee, I can't do that before I go on stage. Like, I have to keep it, like, watery.
Michael Rapaport is in studio with us here on the Ryan Kelly Morning After. Iggy has moved over to what we call the cuck section of the booth.
Yes.
Mike is sat in his chair. The listeners, we get a million texts during the show here.
Okay.
And they're wondering if you can hear Iggy's breathing in your headphones.
Why does he have a breathing issue?
Well, there's been
No,
some
I don't.
dispute about that.
It's that microphone, so they probably hear your breathing
That's
theory.
why there's a ball cap over the.
It could be my breathing. It could be my breathing because I am a snorting, breathing,
Me too.
coughing. But why is there a? Not that the listeners could hear this. I know this is an audio medium, but there is
Oh,
a.
we're on YouTube, so they can watch.
Okay, there's a. Did you put this on for me, or am I breathing in your
no, I
spit
did
and
that
snot?
because-
You're breathing in his saliva.
Every time one listener wants to bring this topic up again, after like 6 months, they'll bring it up again. I just throw a stocking cap on. I throw something just to piss them off.
Now, Iggy, what happened? How did we get to the point with the breathing and the snorting? Like,
It's never happened.
He's a 40-year smoker.
No, it's that microphone or what it is.
Emphysema, I think, plays
Yeah,
a role in it.
it's that microphone. There's something with that microphone.
Is it
that's
more
so
interesting to talk
sensitive.
about Iggy's breathing or the mundaneness of the barstool situation? I think
Iggy
the
breathing is
breathing.
always a
Or
good
getting
topic.
high with the plowboy.
Yeah.
It's always Iggy breathing is always a good topic.
Yeah,
Well, it comes up like every 3 months, and then it becomes a topic for a day. But
you should be so lucky and so happy that there's a topic about your breathing, Iggy. I mean, this is that means you have a good show. When you're getting into the minutia of somebody's breathing, that means you're doing something right.
Correct.
You know, one thing weird about St. Louisans is we obsess about Where'd you go to high school? That's the question people ask each other here. So we know.
This
if
is some town.
If we knew somebody, yeah, that's what we got. We know how much money your parents had. I see you went to Erasmus High School in Brooklyn with maybe the longest list of famous alumni anywhere in the. There's a list of 50 or 60 people who are nationally known.
Yeah,
like
Barbara Streisand,
Neil Diamond,
God,
and Al Davis, and
Al
Jerry
Davis,
Reinsdorf, and Mae West, and the list is this long of people that's
a lot of
extremely
athletes.
accomplished.
Billy Cunningham, who coached the Philadelphia 76ers, and you know, during the.
What is it about that area?
You know, it's not so much now, but at the time, it was a very Jewish Brooklyn area, and you know, it's a public school in Brooklyn. You know, and there's more schools now, but it was sort of, what's the word? It was, you know, there's just different sections of Brooklyn, and that section of Brooklyn, Flatbush, Brooklyn, and that school just happened to produce a bunch of these people.
Even Mo Howard.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now. That's wild as hell, dude.
Yeah, am I on the list? Like when it
Yes.
pops? Because
Yeah,
I went
you
there
made the
one
list.
year. Now I was I literally changed schools from the 3rd grade to the 12th grade every single year. Because I was
Every year?
every year from the 3rd grade to the 12th grade.
Damn.
So
What was going on?
You know my personality on social media?
Little banty.
That was sort of what was happening, except for I'm in control of that now. As a 3rd grader, like there was no social media, like that's just what it was. So now it's sort of a performance and an extension of myself, but I just was extremely disruptive and out of control. There was no fighting. There's no stories to tell. I didn't burn things. I just wouldn't shut up. And I would just every single year I got kicked out of school from the 3rd grade to the 12th grade.
They'd have put you on Ritalin if you were a kid today.
They tried. I was going to be like a test dummy, and my father fortunately didn't have me on it. But yeah, they wanted to put me on that stuff at the time. They wanted to Jack Nicholson. They wanted to cuckoo's nest me. They wanted to slow me down. Erasmus was my 11th grade school, and then the 12th grade I went to Martin Luther King, and then I had to stay for an extra semester, and then ultimately I didn't graduate. My principal called me and said, if you don't come back, we'll pass you out. And so that was how I got out.
Graduated if you don't come back?
Yes, they did not want me back.
What a nice arrangement.
Yeah, it was good. I was a horrible student.
Doug, your favorite texter into the show is the recovering alcoholic from Belleville and Webster Groves.
Oh, he's vile.
He has a proposal. Hey, Mike, bang my wife after a burger at Olive and Oak, baby. Tim taps that ass all day long on him, Tim. So he is putting that out there. He would like you to sleep with his wife. I know you're a married man, but just in case, the Plowhawk asked you to get high.
This guy's name is Tim?
No, I am. He is the recovering alcoholic from Belleville.
He doesn't give a name?
No.
Let me tell you something, you sick animal. Whatever your wife's name is, she should run away. You're offering up.
Yeah. Every day he does.
You sick pig. You sick animal. Block this pig.
You're on board.
Dude, has anyone ever actually has any other guest on the show taken him up on this opportunity?
I don't
He should, though. His
believe
wife
so.
very attractive.
You've seen the wife?
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I know him. He's a U of
She's
I guy.
attractive, but she doesn't know any of this is going on.
Oh my
He's
God.
essentially just farming her out.
He's farming her out. Yeah, he needs to farm himself, or just drive somewhere fast.
Al Davis and Neil Diamond went there too. I don't know if that's
Just win, baby. Just win.
Hey, West.
Famous scientist and composer.
Yeah, it was a great school. I mean, it's back to being a very good school. When I was there,
Donnie
it was.
Most.
Donnie Most went there.
Donnie Most.
Ralph Mouth.
Bob Arum.
Bob Arum went there?
Yeah.
The
Wow.
fight promoter. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Roger Kahn, Beverly Sills,
That's crazy.
Bobby Fischer.
Bobby Fischer, the chess player, went there.
Sid Luckman, the great.
Yeah, I knew that. When I was there, it was a bad school. It was actually the Daily News. The year I was there, I was 86, 87. Sent an undercover reporter who went to the school as a child, and they did a 5-day thing. I don't know if you could pull this up, but they did a 5-day thing on the worst public school. It was a 5-day report, 5-part report. It was the worst public school in New York City at the time. and to get the worst public school in New York City, and New York City's
Tough
big.
competition.
There's a lot of schools in Brooklyn that were bad. Manhattan had terrible schools. Queens had bad schools. The Bronx had bad schools. To get that award while I was there. I wear that like a badge of honor.
Sure you did. What made it so bad? Just rough? Crying?
Rough. It was a rough school.
Did you have to scrap when you went to school?
I didn't, you know, I'm gonna be honest, I was literally the only white kid in the school. And, you know, you talk about fame and smoking weed. Like, there was a sort of like, I was at such an anomaly in the school. I didn't have no problems. You know, people, for the most part, were cool. I mean, they were like, what the F are you doing here? But that's a whole backstory. But I had a great time in that school. It was very, very, you know, it was a good time. It was a good time. When you're 16 and 17, you're not. My mentality was nuts.
Different thing than looking back on it now. Caller Buzz wants us to let you know, with regards to the recovering alcoholic from Belleville offering up his wife to you, that Iggy did sleep with a listener's wife, and then she wound up vomiting in his sink, and he just felt like that might be something.
The husband was there, by the way.
I didn't sleep with her.
What happened, Iggy?
I don't want to get into it.
Well, he didn't want to get into the bar
Well, he didn't want to talk about Barstool,
Yeah, my
and you
lawyer said I should
badgered him.
probably stay away from it.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Look, I love our listeners, so
I sleep
I'll
with
let them
them.
come over to the patio.
Did you have physical contact?
I'll let them come over to the patio every once
She
in a while.
orally serviced him, Michael.
One thing led to another.
All right.
And then she vomited.
Iggy says he's been with 500 women.
And then took a shower.
500 women.
Yeah.
You got to get out of here pretty soon. You're going next door to a real show.
This is a good show, man. Is this a popular show in St. Louis? Like, you guys do well?
Yeah, we're all right.
As you should. This is a good
We've
show.
been on since 2004.
This is a good show.
The boys you're going to next, right next door, do a hell of a show, too.
They're
The
bomb.
Rizzuto Show. Great guys, too.
Okay, cool.
Because sometimes you get those radio wars. I'm sure you're familiar. Because wasn't your dad a GM? Like
My dad was the general manager. Yes, he was the general manager of a radio station in New York City, a famous radio station called WKTU Disco 92.
Disco.
92. First it was WKTU Mellow 92. So this is 1970s. Yeah. So in 1978, 79, the ratings were terrible. They were all mellow rock. And my father made pushed the button. He was the person who's decided we're going to go from mellow to disco.
He flipped the format.
And they literally went from the bottom of the ratings to the top of the ratings.
Wow.
And that station became one of the first stations in the country, and it was the first station in New York City to play disco, and then more importantly, historically, hip hop music.
Oh, is that right?
So yeah. So it was a cool thing to be around as a kid. Going to the radio station where, the DJ, like, and I was a nutty kid, but the DJs would be like, don't come in here, because they put the needle on the record, and the station, it was a room like this, but it was all records and, 2 turntables, and, like, to be around that and, like, have my father bring home records, whether it was, Lou Reed, Take a Walk on the Wild Side. That was a record that, I remember I fell in love with. Or when he brought on the Sugar Hill Gang's Rapper's Delight as a 9-year-old kid, like the promotional copy of that, and he goes, this is called Rapper's Delight. This is called rap music. It's going to be a big deal.
So he could tell that it was going to blow
Yeah.
up. Wow.
Yeah.
Man, he was like a wizard.
Yeah,
there, huh?
and the listens, the spins that they played, but. Like to just be around music, like just it was a fun time and a cool thing. Like it was like my father runs this radio station that became a big deal in New York. It was an exciting thing.
And then your stepdad on the improv, right?
Yes. Yeah, well, not my stepdad, but yes, somebody. My half sister, who's my sister, her father was one of the owners of the improv. Yeah. And that was a great thing too, when I would go out to Los Angeles and see comedians, and that really sort of, when I realized I wasn't going to play in the NBA, that sort of put the bug in my head to, think about doing comedy, because I started doing comedy before I started acting, and then inevitably I from my doing comedy, I would get called in for acting auditions, and then when I started acting, I was like, this is what I want to do. Like, it came so naturally,
That's how it happened.
and then the last 4 or 5 years I started doing comedy again, hence the reason why I'm here and doing shows at the Helium Comedy Club this week.
And what time are your shows tonight and tomorrow?
The shows tonight are 7:30 and 9:30, 10 o'clock. 7:30 and 10 o'clock, and there's 4 more shows, 2 tonight, 2 tomorrow. Shows are going to be great. My opener's awesome, too. The MC's, it's going to be a great night. Last night was sick, and we got 4 more shows. And, come out. We're going to have a good time. I can't promise you anything, but if you want to smoke weed in the parking lot,
I don't want
sakes.
I have nothing but time tonight for myself. So I'll just settle
See,
in.
now that's not. You know what? There should be a better way for me to get people to come out. Like, I can't say there's gonna be like a line of people outside, like, yo, you said you were gonna. No, you
It's a good way to get them in, and then you can make something up after that. Yeah,
just voted to legalize it.
Well, 3/4 of St. Louis listen to this show and the show you're going on next, so you'll get a bunch of people.
That is correct.
You've covered the wide swath. Michael, this has been great, man. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the recommendations.
We'll see you tomorrow at the bowling alley.
Be at the bowling alley. I'll be there. I'll be there first. And good luck with the listener who upped his wife. I wouldn't take that farm animal. I wouldn't take her to a charity event on a Saturday in St. Louis.
There you go.
Well, he'll be there.
He'll be there.
Michael Rapaport hit the Helium Comedy Club in St. Louis. And I also think he'll be at the Cave Springs Lanes tomorrow.
With his own bowling club, no doubt.
Appreciate it. Good to meet you. Thank you for coming in. Michael Rapaport here
Oh,
in the
great,
Michelob
man.
Ultra